Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking back in. Today I'm going to demonstrate for you guys the my opinion on what is the cheapest, most effective, easiest way to keep your knives razor sharp at all times. So the way I do this is with a ceramic rod. This is sort of similar to what you would do with a sharp maker or a Lansky turnbox, which is where these stones came from actually. But I feel like this is a better way to do it, a more controlled method, and also a cheaper method because you don't actually have to buy a sharp maker to do it like this. You can just buy one ceramic rod, or one like 10-inch kitchen ceramic rod with a handle on it if you want to, or you can buy my favorite one, which I don't have it with me. I usually keep it at work, but it's what they call the Lansky dog bone. So it's just like this stone right here. It's basically the exact same thing, except for it's a shortened down version, and it's got two rubber boots on each end of it that act as little thumb needles or whatever you want to call them. Basically, they're just two little rubber ends that fit perfectly between your fingers, and you can hold the ceramic rod like this just a little more comfortably. Plus, one of them's got a little hole through it that they stick a keychain through, so you can hook it to your backpack or your keychain or whatever. So that's my favorite way, or favorite one to use, just because they're like $5. They're so cheap, and they work for basically any knife, and it's just my favorite way to do it. So I'm going to show you guys two different methods for doing this and explain to you why there's two different methods. So number one is, imagine you've got a brand new knife, or a knife that's like this straight from the factory, and say you want to keep it looking like it did right out of the box, but you've been using it and it's getting dull. Or let's say you've got a knife that you sent to someone and they put a perfect mirror polished edge on, and you've been using it and it's getting a little dull. So in that situation, if you want to keep that perfect mirror edge, but you want to make your knife sharper without messing it up, then this is going to be a method that you can go about doing that without ruining that perfect mirror polish on the edge. So what you would do is take your ceramic rod and a knife, and I'm going to go ahead and dull this and show you guys how easy this works. Show you that it's dull. You see how dull that is. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to take your knife and you're going to lay it flat on the stone, just like if you were a beginner sharpener learning how to sharpen. So you lay it, you see that gap between the apex of the edge and the stone, and you raise it up until it touches down onto the stone, and then you're going to raise it just a little bit higher than that. You're going to do a couple passes on each side with, light to moderate pressure. We'll do 3 per side. Then you're going to switch hands. Do the same thing. Lay it down flat on the stone. Raise it up till that gap disappears, till the apex touches down on the stone, and then raise it up a little bit higher than that. Do a couple more passes. Stop when you get to the tip. Don't run the knife off of the end of the stone, because you'll round over your tip. Do a few passes, 3 passes. Alright, and then we'll switch back and forth a couple times, using lighter and lighter pressure as we go, to make sure we don't leave no burr. You can also strop after you do this if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to. And the reason I like this better than the sharp maker method is because you don't know what angle your knife is sharpened at. If it's not a Spyderco and you're using a sharp maker and the angle's different, maybe it's not actually hitting on the apex as you're sharpening, and then it ends up taking you forever to actually get it sharp. This way you can do it quickly, efficiently, and very easily, and have a lot of control over what you're doing and get the desired result, a sharp knife, without really affecting the appearance of your knife at all. So you're just basically putting a slight micro bevel on the edge. So let's check out and see how sharp this is now. Perfect. So just like that, couple passes per side, and we've got a razor sharp knife. And you know, you can't even hardly tell that we did anything to it. Looks exactly the same. Took just less than 5 minutes, and you know, easy peasy. And the other method is just to find the angle and leave it there, and that'll put a less extreme micro bevel. It'll still put a micro bevel on it, but it won't be as drastic. And you know, you can do it more times, you know, before it starts to become unsightly. So that's really the only difference between the two methods. So that's my favorite way to do it, guys, because it's really cheap. You can just buy one $5 ceramic rod. Got a lot of control over it. It's really fast. It's simple. Anybody can do it with, you know, just a couple attempts of practice. But it's really only designed for keeping your knife sharp, maintaining your knife. So if you're not a person that likes to maintain and keep your knife at a high level of sharpness, it's not going to work as well with a knife that's extremely dull, or that's got a lot of chips in the edge or anything like that. This is just for kind of keeping or maintaining your knife at a high level of sharpness. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, found it useful. See you next time.